Big Meat Sports. How are you guys doing on this lovely, lovely, lovely week? For us South Florida people, it ain't gonna be lovely in a little bit. Got that little hurricane coming. A hurricane, or tropical storm should be coming in as a hurricane. Nicole. But talk about hurricanes. Wait. There was a big game this past weekend. There was a big game. Yes, the FSU Seminoles and the University of Miami Hurricanes did play this weekend. And you know me, I'm an FSU fan, so I just have to do this real quick one time. Oh, oh, oh. Hey, I just want to say, look, for all you Miami fans, I know that you're hating life right now. Yeah, you guys, some of you guys expected the loss. You guys are the Canes are doing really not doing well this season, and it's. I mean, I kind of sympathize because we were in this same predicament last year. This talking about the Seminoles, we were in the same predicament as last year, and look, Miami is going through, I would say, a rough patch right now. Mario Cristobal. Look, when you have a new coach, you gotta give him at least 3 years. You got 3 years to turn the program because the first year, it's not their players. Second year, that's when you start hitting the recruiting trail, trying to get as much recruits or the transfer portal as you see in these past several years. The transfer portal is doing wonders. It has done wonders for the Florida State Seminoles because the fact that most of our offensive line came through the transfer portal. Um, our top wide receivers come to the transfer portal. So it is a sight to see because look, the biggest rivalry, and I gotta say, this rivalry for FSU has to be in like the top five in college rivalries. And, some people have it is, number one, depending on where you're from. Some people, if you're from the South and stuff like that, you're going to say FSU, If you're on the West Coast, you're going to say, USC and whoever their rivals are. But, to me, this is the biggest rival. And I've been hearing it, last year we were not supposed to win and we came out with the win. And, you know, this year, Miami was riding way, way high. Oh, Van Dyke's gonna take us, and so on and so forth. And it just hasn't. They haven't gotten done. And look, I got to shout out to the FSU team because look, it was a dominant performance, 45-3. Okay, 45-3, and I never seen this dominant performance from an FSU team as a whole. Um, Jordan Travis just had a pass for 12 attempts, all right, and just missed two of them. So he was, what was it, 10 for 12 for 202 yards with three TDs. We dominated the run game. Benson, 15 yards for 128. It is crazy how we just dominated that game. And years past, we have seen big scores from these games, but it got out of hand in the third or fourth quarter. This thing got out of hand quickly. And when I mean quickly, it got out quickly. You can even see some of the fans leave right before halftime because they knew what was up. And I thank you guys that are viewing right now. Please, shout out in the comments section. I'll put your comments if it's appropriate enough. I'll put your comments up. When you guys just type in the comments, it'll show up on the screen. But thank you for guys tuned in. But again, it was a great game by the Seminoles. It was my birthday weekend, so it just capped it off on a great win, man. Because look, to be honest with you, like I didn't have a doubt. I thought it was going to be a very close game, but once and I kind of wanted the close game because something to talk about, but once the game got on, I was like, no, keep on pouring on them, keep on pouring on them, keep on pouring on them. And that's what we did. So shout out to the FSU Seminoles. So I don't know where, I'm trying to see what's gonna happen. Where's my Miami fans? I mean, the University of Miami fans are used to be talking crap. You know, being at the game, that game was a seminal takeover. Like I feel, and it's the funny thing was that on University of Miami's Instagram page, they went on and say, "Oh, it's a sold out crowd." First of all, it wasn't sold out, okay, because there's plenty of tickets to get at the last second. If you had shout out to the Game Time app, Vivid Seats, and so on and so forth. So it wasn't sold out. If you want to technically say yes, it was sold out. Okay, whatever floats your boat. All right. But there was a lot of Seminoles fans. And this what's like this what hurts me because I am from Miami, and this is where people talk about Miami fans not coming out to show up, showing up and showing out. This is their perfect opportunity. It's a rivalry game. You never know what's going to happen. Look at Tallahassee last year. We didn't think we're going to, we thought we're going to keep the game close, but look, you guys had the better team. And look what happened. We had our home crowd behind us and we pulled off the win. That's it didn't happen like that this time around. It was mostly I would say a good 40% of that crowd was FSU fans, and everything else was UM fans, and those UM fans again left in right before halftime. Some stayed faced and watched the whole game, but not a lot. So that's why I think it was just basically it was Knowles Nation in Hard Rock. So it was a takeover at Hard Rock Stadium. But again, shout out to the Knowles. If you are checking us out, please check us out on if you're checking us out on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitch Live. Don't forget to check us out on our Apple Podcast, Spotify, or Google. We have a lot of episodes that if you haven't seen them, go check them out. It's some good content. We do have our my co-host JC when he does have some time to do some podcasts. We do have other people like Danny Radis did chime in on one podcast, did an excellent job. So anytime you guys want to come on, hey, and look, if you guys want to come on this podcast and vent out some frustration, hey, I am willing to have you on. Hit me up on my DMs, hit me up on the phone lines. Go ahead. Let's make this interactive. But the next thing I want to talk about, we're gonna, transition to the NFL because it's interesting. And we're not, Cowboys had to buy, so we're not really talking about the Cowboys. We're talking about basically the AFC East. Okay. The AFC East is I think up for grabs. Now, the favorite Buffalo Bills were supposed to go ahead and go off and without a shadow of a doubt win the AFC East by flying colors. But to me, it doesn't look like that. Okay, to me, it's kind of bringing it back. Oh, wait, one more thing before wait, just for my fans. I forgot to show you this. Let me I I knew it was out of hand real quick. Oof. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I had to go back to that because I had it queued up and I forgot about I forgot to show you guys. But yeah, that's when I knew it was game when that pass hit. Oh, I knew it was a long day for the Canes. But let's go back and transfer back to the NFL. So we all thought the Bills were going to run away with this. And now that, you know, that the Jets are in contention, the Dolphins, it's kind of like it's going to be very very tight coming down these, back half of the season. Now, I want to see what happens these next few games because there's a lot of concern for each team, and I'm gonna tell you about my concerns for these teams. Now, for the Buffalo Bills, now I think that their I want to say I their offense is really really good. They didn't show it that much on the Jets game, but they do have that high powered offense, um, but they're lacking that good running game. And their defense right now is kind of suspect. You know, they've been giving away a lot of points, giving up a lot of points, and you're kind of seeing. I feel like the offense kind of pressing at times. And this is my observation. You can again throw it in the chat, whatever you want to, but again, this is my observation. Then you go to the Jets, and now people say, "Hey, the Jets can take over this thing." But my thing with the Jets is, yes, the Jets have a really, really good defense. I won't say great, but they have a really damn good defense. But their offense is very suspect. They don't have playmakers on, on the outside. They lost their big playmaker and their running back, Reese Hall. So he's gone for the year. And now you're counting on Zach Wilson to basically win you almost every games. And I don't think they can get it done. Now they got it done versus Buffalo. Yes, I get that. But when teams they had to rely on the turnovers. And this is one thing I had, it comes up to me because look at Dallas last year. We relied on turnovers most of basically almost every game so we can put out people. We won by a lot, but when it came to the playoffs, we didn't get that turnover that we needed, and we needed versus the 49ers. And look what happened. 49ers beat us, and they beat us by a good margin. I don't think the Jets can have the offensive firepower to keep up with a Buffalo or Miami. Now we go to the Miami Dolphins side. The only concern I have with the Miami Dolphins is their defense. And talking about their back half of the defense. Yes, I get it. Justin Fields is a great runner. I mean, he makes wonders, and I think he's a better runner than Jalen Hurts. But Justin Fields, and we look, I get it, Miami fans. We Cowboys just went through this, a week prior and saw Justin Fields run all over us, on scramble drills and so on and so forth. But my thing is the secondary, and I know a lot of people are out injured and so on and so forth. They might be getting some people back, but that's my only concern. And I think that the Dolphins kind of address that issue with Bradley Chubb, as my last podcast, which think saying that with Bradley Chubb, it's going to be less time for these people in the pocket. Now, I think the next few opponents for the Dolphins, I believe they're pocket passers. So I got to I got to look it up, but I'm pretty sure they're pocket passers. So we're gonna see how it is. I think the Dolphins, kind of like the Cowboys, kind of struggle with mobile quarterbacks. They kind of want somebody like right there. I think every team wants that, um, but I think the Dolphins do struggle with more mobile quarterbacks. But that's what thing. The thing is that back half of the defense is my only concern for the Dolphins. I do think they do a good job at the run stopping, but their corners sometimes Xavier Howard gets burnt here and there. All their I wish I had JC on here so he can name all the damn fucking players, but unfortunately I don't have them and I can't get off the top of my mind. So to me, with when this comes down to is I do think that the Miami Dolphins might surprise a lot of people and actually win the AFC East. I'm telling you, it might come down to those final weeks with Buffalo and Miami. Now, look, it it's what Miami is one game out. You never know what's going to happen. They still have if they win that next meeting with Buffalo and they tie to go into the final week. Miami holds a tiebreaker because of beating them in the regular season. So Buffalo might want to watch out. This is very very scary time for the Buffalo fans because I think Miami should be playing loose as a goose. All right, loose as a goose because Miami, they can pass the ball. They have weapons at every position. I think they do need to do a little bit better job in a run game, call a little bit more runs because I think Raheem Mostert and now Jeff Wilson Jr. can get the job done. I think I want to say they're a better running team than they show. Because I feel like they got the kind of like the Kellen Moore syndrome that they don't like to run as much. So when they get a little more pass happy. And I see that's what this offense and McDaniel is doing right now is getting a lot of pass happy. And they need to stick to the run. And when I see them have runs, Miami Dolphins have runs, it is explosive runs. So they need to stick with that. Um, but yeah, no, it's I this AFC East. I think it's going to come down to the last few weeks, and I do think that the Dolphins might surprise people and pull it off. Again, we were thinking, hey, Buffalo should run off with this division, but it hasn't happened that way. Miami can thank the Jets for taking a game from them. If Miami takes one a little bit later on in the season, it's going to benefit from Miami. Tua needs to, I think the schedule kind of benefits Miami and as into the fact that if it goes down to the wire, Miami can't pull this off. Or hey, look, if anything, Miami could be a top seed in a wild card and host a playoff game. Or actually, they won't host a playoff game, but they will be a top seed in the wild card and make the playoffs. So I I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think. Does Miami have a chance? Do the Jets have a chance? Or is this Buffalo's division and no matter what? So but that's all for today's podcast. I will be traveling to South Carolina. I will actually it's almost gonna be I feel like I'm gonna be a hurricane hunter because I'll be going traveling to South Carolina a little bit before this hurricane slash tropical storm will be hitting us. So wish me luck. I'm going off to a wedding. Hopefully we can I don't know if we're going to be posting next week on the podcast, but we'll see if I can sneak one on there. If we got some little dull time, sneak one on there. But thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out. Hey, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch, if you're on all these major platforms, please subscribe to the channel, like the page, like the video. It helps me out a lot. And check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. It helps me out a lot. I love doing this. I love talking sports with you guys. Just a brief, 15, 20 minutes. This one's going to probably run a little 20 minutes. So I love talking sports with you guys. And please check us out. And thank you for your support. And we'll catch you on the next episode.